Hello, Richard. How are you?
How are you?
I'm grand. Are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at. I was going to do this next. So we did a bit of rounding, just a little bit at the end, the last time. What was this one? Okay, let's try this. We'll see how we get on. Round to the nearest 1,000. Do you remember how you would do that?
Yeah, I think I remember how I did it last week.
Okay.
So, I think what we did was put a box around the number which was in the thousands column.
Correct.
And then we look at the number next to it.
So for part A, which number is in the thousands column?
Well, it's the 4.
Yeah. And then we look at the number next to it.
Yeah. And it's 3, but it's actually 300, so you would round it down.
Yeah.
And so 4,376 rounded to the nearest 1,000 is 3,000.
It will be.
Oh no, sorry, it's 4,000.
Well done. Because this number is in between 4 and 5,000. So it's either going to be 4,000 or 5,000. And in this case, it was nearer to 4,000 because the number after 4,000 is 5 or less. Did I accidentally lose one of these somehow? Let me just check something. So just see. No, that's it. Okay, that's okay. And match these up.
Okay. So the first one, A, is 4,638,420 rounded to the nearest 10,000. So the first thing we would probably look at the number which is in the 10,000 column. And then in this case it's the 3.
Yeah.
And then so you would draw a box around it. And then you would look at the number next to it, which is an 8. And so because 8 is higher than 5, you would round that particular number up. So that number rounded to the nearest 10,000 is 4,640.
Yeah, what else?
Okay. And then
so what goes at the end?
the 3 zeros?
Yes. So basically, because it rounded up, you add 1 to the number in the box.
Yeah.
Everything to the right becomes a 0. Everything to the left stays the same.
Okay.
And so, and is that answer one of our possible answers?
Yes.
Yes. So that one would match there. I think you're okay for that. Round these ones to the nearest thing. I think you'll be fine for those.
Okay.
So rounding. Oh, do we need to? No. Oh, bum. No, I think you're okay. So rounding.
I think maybe either halfway between nearly there and nailed it or nailed it.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Okay, Roman numerals. So you can see Roman numerals on clocks and things. You have to say what number each arrow is pointing to.
So the first arrow which is pointing to the first number, it looks like an I. Well, it looks like number 1, but it's actually the number. It's actually the number 1 in a Roman numeral.
Next
And
one.
the next one, it's got 3 of those 1-like things, so it's 3. Next one is 4. Next one's 5. And next one's 8. And the last one is 10.
That's it. And so, using that, we'll say what each thing is. So, what is each of these?
So a single I means a 1. The V means a 5. And the X means a 10.
Yes. And you'll notice that with 4, 5, and 6, V is a 5,
Yeah.
VI is a 6, and IV is a 4.
Yeah.
And same thing. So let's say with 9, 10, and 11.
Okay.
So we said 10 is X. So using that, what is 9? What is 11?
Well, 11 would be XI. And 9 would be I'm trying to IX.
Yes. So 5 was a V, so 4 is IV.
Okay.
10 is X, so 9 is IX. And so the I goes after it if it's one more, before if it's one less. There we go. Okay, so we have to, we'll see if you already know these. You might not. Which of these do you know?
Well, I know the 10 is an X.
Okay, and is that the only one?
No, I know more.
Go on.
The 20 is 2 X's.
Right.
The 30 is 3 X's.
Right.
The 40 is an I and then a is it IL, I think?
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's IL. Then 50 is L. 60 is LX. 70 is LXX. 80 is LXXX. 90 is XC.
It's what, sorry?
I think 90 is XC.
Okay.
And 100 is C.
Okay, so 100 is C.
Yeah. 200 is 2 C's, I think. 300 is 3 C's. 4. I'm not sure about 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, and 900. I think 1,000 might be M.
M.
Yeah, for 1,000.
And so if 900 is 100 less than M, how would you write that?
So it's X. I think it's XM.
So that would be 10 less than M. We want 100 less than M?
100. CM.
Okay, so let's see how we did. And so these are the numbers. So that one was D.
So 500 is D, 600 is DC, 700 is DCC, and 800 is DCCC. and 400 is CD.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, so the only thing there is that
The D.
yeah, so the main thing is that 10 is X, 50 is L, 100 is C, 500 is D, and M is 1,000, because those are the only letters that actually got used.
Yeah.
Okay, what year is this?
Oh, I think it's best if I were to break down like the letters.
Yeah.
So I know that M. Well, I know that M is 1,000. So those two M's must mean 1,000.
Yeah, so that's like 1,000 plus 1,000.
And C is 100.
Right.
And X is 10. V equals 5.
Yeah.
And I means 1.
1 plus 1. Okay, so let's add these up. And what do you get?
So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1 is 7. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus nothing is 1. And 1 plus 1 is 2.
So we've gone wrong somewhere, I think. 2127, let's see.
And
No, we're right. 2127.
oh, okay, 21.
Sorry, I didn't think it would be a year in the future. Okay, this one, you have to say the time on the clock. So let's do the first one there.
So the first one on the the first one on the left hand side, the hour hand, I think, is pointing at the 8.
Mm-hmm.
And the small hand, which is the minute hand, I think, is pointing almost towards the 11, but not quite at the 11.
Yeah.
So we know that it's we know that it's 8 something.
Which one is the hour hand and which one is the minute hand?
Hour hand. I think wait. I think they're reversed actually. I think the big hand is the minute hand.
Yeah.
And the small hand is the hour hand. So I got them reversed.
Mm-hmm.
So the minute hand is pointing at the 8.
Yeah.
And the hour hand is almost at the 11, but not quite there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Any idea about this one?
no, not really.
Well, what does it go up in terms of minutes? Each increment, how many minutes is that each time?
Well, it goes up in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and so how many minutes is it when it's at 8?
40.
Okay, so the minutes is 40. And what about the hours?
The hours. Hours. The hours go up in 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so at 11 it's 11 hours, and at 10 it's 10 hours. But it's not it's not I don't think, and it's not pointing at either of them, but it's closer to the 11 than it is to 10.
So the way that works is it has already been 10 o'clock, but it hasn't yet been 11 o'clock. And so you would write it as 10.
10:40.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I think I understand now.
Yes. Okay. So we'll take a look at more of those. I think. This. Let's try the last one.
Okay, write these years in figures. So for starters, for each and every one of them, I would need to work out what number each of the letters mean.
Mm-hmm.
So for C, the two M's mean 1000.
Yeah.
The C means 100,
Mm-hmm.
and the L means 50,
Yeah.
and X means 10.
Okay. So 1,000, 100, 1,000. What was the L again?
50.
And 10 and 10. And what do you get?
So for the first column, it's basically nothing, so it's 0. 5 plus 1 plus 1 is 7. 1 plus nothing is 1. And 1 plus 1 is 2.
That's it. 2,170. Okay. How do we do this one?
So it says draw hands on the clock to show the right time. So for the first one, it says 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it means 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
So the minute hand, which is the big hand, would need to be pointing at the 4. Oh no, not the 4, the 6.
Yes.
And then the hour hand would need to be pointing I think between the 4 and the 5.
Yes, and it would be exactly halfway between them because it's exactly half 4. Okay, and how about the last one?
So 9:35. So the minute hand would need to be
Needs to be pointing where, sorry?
the minute the minute hand would need to be pointing at the 9. Wait, no, come on. The hour hand needs to be pointing at the 9.
Right. And so I'd always start with the minutes one.
And the minutes one needs to be at 7.
Yes, and the minutes hand, is that long or short?
The minute hand is the long one.
Yeah. And so, okay, and where am I putting the arrow one?
The hour hand needs to be pointing at the 9.
So why did our first one, you pointed it halfway between 4 and 5?
It was because it was halfway.
Okay.
I think it might need to be pointing halfway between 9 and the 10.
Yes. and because it's 35, it's actually a little more than halfway.
Oh.
But halfway is, a little more than halfway is what it would actually look like. Okay, any questions about that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Let's see this one. Write these Roman numerals in figures. Let's just do question B.
B. Right. So the first one is a letter M, and that means 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the D, I learned earlier that the D means 500, so the D is 500.
Mm-hmm.
And the L is 50.
And what do you get?
And we get 1,550.
Well done. And this one, let's just do part B.
B. So to complete these calculations, give your answers in Roman numerals. So for B it says MCDL minus CCXXVII. So for the first number, M equals 1,000.
Yep.
C equals 100. D equals 500.
Yeah.
And 50 equals, well no, I mean L equals 50.
Uh-huh.
And so if you add all those numbers together, you would get 1,000. You would get 1,650.
Okay.
And for the second number, it's a CCXXVII. So C means 100.
Yeah.
And then the two X's mean 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then V means 5. And then the I's mean 1.
Yeah.
And so 100 plus 100 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 2 is 2,207.
And what do we do with these two answers?
Well, it says you need to subtract them, so you would do 1,650 subtract 227.
Well done.
Right, so you can't do 0 minus 7, so you need to cross out the 5 and then place that with a 4 on top here, and then you need to carry the 1 over to the 0, and then that becomes 10. So 10 take away 7 is 3. 4 take away 2 is 2. 6 take away 2 is 4. And 1 take away nothing is 1.
Well done. Okay, so I think you're good for that. Okay, let's try this.
Yasmin looks at a sundial in the park. The shadow on the dial points to halfway between VI and VI. What time could it be? So the dial points. It says that the dial points to halfway between 6 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
And so it says and but it says halfway between 6 and 7, and that would be on the clock it would be the 30.
Yeah.
So one of so the dial points to the 6, which is 30, and so the other hand is
So a sundial.
Right.
Okay, so a sundial doesn't have another hand. It just has
1.
one shadow.
Oh, okay.
And so, if this was the shadow, any idea what time that represents?
It would be half. Wait, no.
Yeah.
6:30.
Yes.
Oh.
Because it only shows you the hours.
Oh yeah.
So if it was a quarter way between 6 and 7, that would be a 6:15.
Okay.
And so on. Okay, that's 6:30. That's how they work. Okay, how about this?
Seth looks at an old clock. The small hand is between 7 and 8. The big hand is pointing at 4. What time is it? Well, it says the small hand, which is the hour hand, is between 7 and 8. So the small hand must be pointing at the 6, which means half an hour. And
Hold on. Why is it pointing at 6?
small hand.
Let me get my little clock. 1 second. I'll steal this one. Okay. So the small hand is pointing halfway between 7 and 8?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. So yeah, it would. Yeah, it would be. So it would be about. Yeah, it would be halfway between 7 and 8, and not pointing at 6.
Okay.
And so the big hand is pointing at IV, which means 4.
Mm-hmm.
So we figured out where the hands go. And so the time says 20 past 7.
Well done. 20 past 7. Well done. Oh well. And then this one, I think you'll be fine for it. It's just another one of those, change it to a thing. Okay, Roman numerals.
I think maybe nailed it.
Yeah. Nailed it. Okay, rounding problems.
Okay.
How about this?
Find a number 250 and 299 that is a multiple of 30. Well, for starters, you can use the 30 times table to count up to a number that is in the 30 times table, but between 250 and 299.
Right.
And so
I can. Oh, okay.
So counting up in 30.
So I can think of a way that might make this a bit easier. What if this was 300, and we'll just remember that we have to put it back to 299 at the end. Would you be able to do it a simpler way if that was 300?
Maybe to divide it by 30? Or
Yeah, that would work, but then it wouldn't work because it's actually 299.
but maybe once you got on your answer you could take away 1.
Okay, so 300 divided by 30?
Yeah, and because it's 299 is one number less than 300. Once you've gotten your answer, maybe you could take away 1 from that number.
That's right.
So you could, you can, for starters, work out how many 3's go into 3. Well,
yeah. How many 30s go into 30?
that's 1.
And then how many 30s go into 0?
0.
Okay. So basically 30 times 10 gives you 300. And okay, what's next?
Well, I did say that it could possibly work by subtracting 1. So 10 take away 9. No, 10 take away 1 is 9.
Right. And how do we use that?
We use it.
It's basically the 9th multiple of the 30 times table.
Okay. So we then need to work out 9 times 30, or 30 times 9. And so if you're doing the column method, 9 times 0, well, this is the way I like to do it. 9 times 0 is 0. And 9 times 3 is 27, but it's actually 30. So it's 270.
So I think 270 is the answer.
Yeah.
Because that's in between 250 and 299, and it's in the 30 times table.
Yeah.
Any questions there?
No, I don't think so.
What you could have done, and the reason why I changed it to 300 is because you could divide everything by 10, and you could say it has to be between 25 and 30, and
Yeah.
it's the 3 times table, multiple of 3.
Okay.
What number in the 3 times table is between 25 and 30?
27.
27. And then you would just times it back by 10 again, which is 270.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's many ways of doing it.
Okay.
270. Okay, let's try this tricky one. And these are the very tricky questions.
Oh, okay. Hera has 2 number cards. She writes the numbers to the nearest 10. Both numbers round to 20. She adds the numbers on the cards together and writes the answer to the nearest 10. The rounded answer is 30. What could the numbers be?
Hmm.
Yeah, it does sound rather tricky.
So I think let's just take it one at a time.
Yeah.
So she has 2 number cards. Okay.
Yeah, 2 cards.
Who knows? She writes the numbers to the nearest 10. So both numbers round to 20. So what could the 2 numbers be?
Well, maybe 18 and 19.
Let's say, what's the smallest both numbers could be?
The smallest, 15 and 16.
And they could be the same thing. So I'll just do 15 and 15. What's the biggest they could be?
What's round to 20? That would be 19.
What does 21 round to?
That rounds to 20.
And so, what's the biggest number you could make that rounds to 20?
24.
Well done. And so, I'll write that on top. So for each of these, the biggest number is 24. The smallest number is 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she adds the numbers together and writes the answer to the nearest 10. So the rounded answer is 30. So you have to come up with 2 possibilities. Well, let's say 30.
Okay.
So the rounded answer is 30. What would be the smallest and biggest numbers that round to 30?
Well, the biggest number that would round to 30 would be 34.
Mm-hmm.
And the smallest number that would round to 30 is 25.
Okay. So how do we figure out 2 possible numbers here?
You can maybe add together maybe 20. Maybe you could add together 24 and 15.
Well, that would add up to more than 34, so that wouldn't round to 30. So try 2 other ones. That'll just be a second.
Wait. 15 and 15. Oh. Yeah, okay.
Sorry. Any idea about that one?
Maybe 15 plus 15?
Yeah, 15 plus 15 would work. So that would be 15 and 15. And 15. So that would give you exactly 30. It could be 15 and 16. It could be 16 and 17.
Yeah.
But it couldn't. Oh, I think 17 and 17 is the biggest.
Okay.
Because that would make 34, but any bigger than that, and then it would round to 40.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So, for example, 15 and 19. Yeah, so many possibilities.
Yeah.
Okay. What is question... What is question 1?
So it says, question 1, it says, find 2 numbers with 3 decimal places that add up to 5. Well, I know for a fact that 2.5 and 2.5 is 5, but it's asking for 2 numbers with 3 decimal places that add up to 5. So, well, the first combination I thought of, the first combination I did think of was 1.25 and 1.25, but I don't think that equals 5.
So that's too small. I think a good strategy might be, so you said 2.5 plus 2.5 equals 5.
Yeah, that's yes.
Let's say that equals 5. Could you make this one slightly smaller and this one slightly bigger so that they do have 3 decimal places?
Well, first 2.5 to make it smaller. You could put maybe for the small one you could put 2 zeros on, or maybe for the other one.
So the way I would do this is,
Right.
a number that has 3 decimal places, that's rounded to the nearest 0.001.
Yes.
So that's the simplest number with 3 decimal places. And so you could do the halfway number, which is 2.5. 2.5 plus 0.001 and 2.5 minus 0.001.
Okay.
So
Well,
so what would be 2.5 plus 0.001?
well, that would equal 2.501.
Yes. And then the tricky one, the subtracting one. If you took away 0.001.
I think it would be not sure.
So I would probably just, in that case, write it using the column method. So 2.5 and then 0.001, and then all of the blanks, just fill them in with zeros.
Okay. Well, first one, 0 take away 1. You can't do that. Now, normally you could cross out the number next to the 0, but you can't, as that's also a 0. So you would move, but the 5 you can. So you would cross out the 5, and then turn that into a 4, and then you would place the one next to the next 0, and then you would cross that out, and then place that one next to the next 0.
And what does this become once you cross it out?
That becomes a 0 again.
5 became 4, so 10 becomes
9.
yes.
Oh, okay. So 10 take away 1 is 9, and then 9 take away 0 is 9. 4 take away 0 is 4. And then you put down the point. And then 2 take away 0 is 2.
There you go. So just 0.001 less is 2.499, and 0.001 more is 2.501. And so that's two numbers that when you add them you get 5. So basically find the halfway number, the middle number, by halving the total, and then just do plus or minus the degree of accuracy, in this case 3 decimal places.
Okay.
Very, very, very tricky stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, what is this? Oh wow. Yeah, this is the Roman numerals.
Okay.
Done for you. So let's try. Let's just do C. I think you'll be okay for that.
So it says find 2 different Roman numerals that add up to the number shown. One has been done for you. So for the example, it says x is 10. That's 1 plus. Well, that's 9. But for C, it means m, and that equals 1,000. So we need to find 2 different numbers that add up to 1,000. I think one possible combination is 400, 501.
Yeah, go on, pick 2 numbers.
Well, I think a simple combination is 501 and 499.
And in this case, they didn't have to be 2 different numbers, did it? Oh, it did.
It says find 2 different Roman numerals, so they have to be different.
So for this one, it didn't have to be very different. So what would be simple numbers? Simple numbers might be. What would be 2 simple numbers instead of like 499?
Yeah.
So 2 simple numbers that would add up to 1,000.
Yeah.
Can you think of it?
I can also think of 150 and 800.
Those are getting less simple. Okay, we'll just go with your first one. 500 plus 499. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. That's fine. This one.
Okay.
So I have gold, silver, bronze. How do we do this?
Well, it says, at an athletics event, a gold medal is given to the fastest runner, a silver medal is given to the second fastest, and a bronze medal is given to the third fastest. So it says, race 1, Anna 14.7 seconds, Sam 14.59 seconds, and Chris 14.9 seconds. And for race 2, says Nelly 59.5 seconds, Niraj 60.01 seconds, and Kareen 59.40 seconds. Science time rounded to 1 decimal place was 14.7 seconds. What was that time?
And let's actually skip to part B. It's very similar.
Okay. Nelly's time rounded to 1 decimal place was the same as Correen's. What was her time? So Nelly's time in race 2 was 59 point something 5 seconds, and Serene's time was 59.40. And so, well, something 5 rounds to 40.
And remember that Nelly came first, wasn't it? because she's first.
Well,
So because Nellie's name is first, she finished first, and so how could he use that to figure out what number is missing?
well, since she is first, you need to. Well, the only thing I can think of is actually I'm not sure.
Well, it has to round. What would it have to round to?
40. Well,
It has to round to something that is less than Niraj's time because she was faster than Niraj.
okay. So it would need to be. So Noni's time would need to be somehow rounded to Niraj's time, which is 60.01 seconds.
So it has to be less than that. So yeah, go on, pick a number for Nelly.
59.25 seconds. Wait, no, that would be rounded down. So 59.75 seconds.
Yeah, that would do. So 59.75, because that would round to 60, and Niraj also rounds to 60.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the same as Karina's. Oh, sorry. No, that's Karina's, sorry.
Oh yeah.
So they're not in order. Go on.
Well, Karina's time was 59.40 seconds, and Nelly's time was 59.something 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So you would need to round 59.75 to 59.40, and you could do 59 point.
So what will Karina's time round to one decimal place?
59 point. I think 59 point 0 or 4.
59.4. And so you have to come up with a time for Nelly that will round to 59.4.
So rounded to 4, 59 point. Point 0 and not 0.
So 59 point what will round to point what 5 will round to 59.4.
59.0.
So 59.05 would round to 59.1.
Wait, 59 point.
So what number would go in the box so that after you round it, it becomes 59.4?
Hmm, 9 point.
Because it ends in a 5, it's going to round up.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to round up, so...
So what number, when you round it up, will be 4?
Just trying to think.
3.
Oh,
Because when you round it up, you add 1 to it.
okay.
So yeah, so rounding problems are very tricky. And so we'll do we can do, so a mixed question test of everything. I'll do that next time. Because we did a bit of everything. So we did those. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, you're fine for rounding those. Okay, so Roman numerals. What time is shown on the right?
Well, the long hand, which is the minute hand, is pointing at the 1, and the hour hand is pointing, well, kind of at the 9.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 9:05.
Yes, 9:05. What is this number up the top?
Well, the 2 M's mean 1000,
Mm-hmm.
and the 2 X's mean not 110.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be 2020.
Well done. Where would the hands go for the middle one?
820. The minutes, the minute hands would be pointing at maybe, well, close to the 8, maybe not like pointing at the 8.
Okay. Yep.
The hour hand would be pointing at the 20.
There we go. That was just more of the same. What would be this one?
Well, that would be 10 plus 6 would be 16.
That is 16. And we go back to red. That's okay. And then we were into the those. Okay, and then we got to there. Yeah, how was that for you, Dylan?
What overall?
Yeah.
Maybe I think either maybe nailed it, or halfway, or halfway between halfway and nailed it.
Yeah, I think so that we're now on the very end of that, the very end of number and the very end of rounding and decimals, and so those questions are like the very hardest that there are. And so maybe the next time we'll just finish off those at the very beginning and then go from there. And is there anything in particular you want to do next time, or should I just do the next thing after number, like algebra or whatever it is?
I'm not sure this time, so I think maybe you can choose.
Okay. Any questions for me in general?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well done, Dylan. You did great. Yeah, you did great, Melita. Doing very
Lovely.
challenging work.
Yes.
Yeah. And yes.
yes.
So I'll call as normal next week. And
Yes.
yeah, happy Christmas to you both and to your family.
Oh, yes, thanks. And the same to you too. Have a lovely time.
All right. Thanks.
All
Goodbye.
right. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.